Hi, I'm Rob,
And I'm Angie.
and together we are
TwinFinity.
TwinFinity.
We are twin flames back with another question and answer video, and hopefully we can pull this off. We're both just not quite right in the zone tonight.
We've just had a little bit of time off from the rest of the world and a lot of time together on a little bit of a vacation. And it's been a little bit of a band-aid rip. One of these questions that's coming up is talking about third energy when twins get together. And yeah, we spent a lot of time together and in that energy, and now we're having to be a little bit out of that, back into our real lives of working and only seeing each other in evenings and nights and early mornings. So yeah, it's interesting how the energies around us twins, there's just so much more to deal with, and mostly it's really nice.
I'm still laughing at the band aid rip.
Yeah, yeah.
I like it.
I had a Band-Aid rip day yesterday.
You're going to have to explain that for people that
Yeah,
didn't watch our story videos. They
yeah.
probably don't know what that means.
Where when you're all kind of held together and then you have to be apart for a while, so it's sort of like rip off the Band-Aid and off you go on the life that you have to live. I have a dog over here. So just one moment. Let me do some dog looking after bits.
Oh, it's going to be an interesting video.
If this actually makes it to air, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah. So yes, we had a wonderful holiday, and oddly, you'd think I'd be feeling very twin flamey, but I'm really just not. So I hope I can get it together.
I've had a couple of times where it's been a little bit tougher. It's hard to be in the zone all the time
Yes.
with all the ebbs and flows of life. And we don't deny it. We don't deny it.
No,
We're
I'm
human
just
beings.
kind of in a funk. I don't even know why.
We're human beings first. Really, it's just kind of how it is. Can't deny it if that's the way it is.
True.
First question. Hello, Angie.
Hi.
Hi, Angie.
Hi.
I have tried everything from surrendering to letting go. However, my twin never leaves my mind. To top it off, I've seen mostly all other twin flames in contact with each other. My twin and I tried 4 years ago to be in contact, and then his karmic wife found out about us, so she leaves. At times I've seen him at parties, and all he has made a point to do is let me know that he loves me. He has fought with his karmic during a party and sat down where I was standing. When I would show up at his work, he would try to meet me, but I got scared of him and ran. There has been no contact barely since, especially after December 2017. Anything that might be causing this no contact? Recently, his karmic has been checking my online status way too much. Why is she checking if him and I aren't in contact? Please help me with this. There's a whole lot in there.
There is.
I love questions with a whole lot in them. It's really tough to be struggling with contacting your twin when you see other twins that seem to be doing better than you. It makes you wonder why you can't catch up. You're not nearly as alone in that feeling as what you'd believe. There is a lot of twins that are struggling with communication, and it's really easy to see and find somebody who's doing better and then lament over it.
Yes.
Don't be too worried about that. There is twins at all level of communication.
And in fact, that part, not that that's really part of the question, it's just a statement, but that part really tweaked me because I have a friend that I communicate with on a regular basis, and he, yes, it is a male, says often the same thing. I see so many other twin flames in the groups that are having contact with their twin flame. Well, guess what? There's still a lot of twins that aren't in contact with theirs and aren't having any communication. They're not the ones that are in the groups posting about that, though. It's the ones that are actually having communication that are posting on Facebook and other social media going, oh, I had communication. So you're only seeing, a skewed kind of portion of what's really happening. So don't kind of compare yourself to everybody else and think, well, everybody else is experiencing communication. Why am I not? Because there's lots of people that aren't. So that's just a first comment. My leg's going numb already. This is a bad situation. We just started. Okay.
Now, what I also saw in that question is there was a lot of noticeable contact between this person and their twin, and now there is no contact. I wouldn't doubt that this guy's karmic partner, his wife, really put the screws to him because she noticed the connection between you and your twin. So I am guessing that there's a little bit of silence going on there because it has been. I'll just use the word forbidden, just to be real blunt and maybe step a bit too far. And why is she checking up on you two on social media? I'll say, um, probably out of a lack of trust.
Absolutely. Because
That's
she can feel the connection between you two, you and your twin. Even though she may not understand the dynamic, she feels that there's something not quite right. It's much like it reminds me of you and I when we went on our first climb
yeah,
with your
with
karmic.
my
You were
karmic.
still in a relationship with her, but she could see the sparks between Rob and I.
Yeah,
And even though she didn't know, because Rob didn't even know that we were twin flames, I hadn't told him yet.
she saw the connection.
Yeah. So the karmic feels it. They know it, even though they don't necessarily understand it on a conscious level. They know there's something weird. There's something different. There's something unique between, the their partner and the twin flame.
Especially when, in this case, the person who wrote the question showed up at his place of work but got scared of him and ran. That's a sign that there's actually a pretty strong connection there when it overwhelms the people who are trying to get connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's that kind of energy would be noticed by almost anybody from a mile away.
Yes. Which I'm glad you brought up that part because that's what I wanted to address next. Because I think she asked about we've had no contact. I would suspect because you got scared and were running, so is he. Again, twin flames mirror each other, right?
It's like that cat seeing itself in the mirror for the first time. It's just run, gone.
Yeah.
What was that? There's another cat here.
So if you're feeling afraid of the dynamic, the connection, the strength of the pull, he is too. And he's even got it more confusing because he's in another relationship. So again, much like we were,
yeah.
You, as much as you wanted to be with me, you would go through this whole thing of confusion of, well, I'm with somebody else. And
yeah, well, I've, trying to do quote unquote the right thing and do what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
I've made my choices. Got to stick with them.
So,
very good question.
Yes, I think we've sort of answered all the questions, but I feel like I want to just offer another little piece is just, in my opinion, lay low, let things be what they are. And I know this is the guidance that people always say, but it's because it's useful, it's for a reason, is just focus on yourself. Focus on your own healing, your own growth. Really look at why you got scared and why you ran. And really do some inner reflection on that and then work on healing that.
Yeah, I would recommend that too because if there is any contact in the future, those feelings are just going to come back. They don't really subdue with time. In fact, if anything, they almost mature and become stronger with time for a lot of people. So
until they're healed, yeah.
And until they're healed.
Yeah.
So be prepared if you do have a chance to meet your twin again. Be prepared for those feelings to be just as strong and just as emotional. Next question?
Sure. Hope that was helpful.
My twin flame is making me tired of our soul union relationship. I don't even know if I need to say a whole lot more after that because, again, I'll use for the second time tonight, I'll say, you're not alone. Let me continue with the question. He can't contact me in a normal way. He's stressing me so much that I'm cutting back and not answering on his soul signals and things. I'm tired of this and really starting to think about breaking up this connection. I don't have him in a normal way, just like a ghost who's writing lots of messages about trust and love. Nothing is working. This sounds like a person who has a very strong 5D connection and a very weak 3D connection with their partner. But the 5D signals are clattering around in this person's mind and partially driving them crazy.
Yeah, that's how I interpret it too.
Could be something. It can be really confusing when a lot of the conversations you're having with someone else are just in your mind. You almost feel like you're just inventing the conversations, but you're not because it's too real.
So I wanted to go back to the very first sentence because that really tweaked me right as soon as I read it. My twin flame is making me tired of our soul union relationship.
Your twin flame can't make you anything.
Thank you. You know what I love is that we don't pre-discuss any of these.
No.
I love that we just say what we say. Exactly. Nobody, not just your twin flame, nobody can make you feel anything. It is always our choice because we are never victim to anything. So sure, somebody can have their actions, but it's our choice how we choose to feel about those actions and how we choose to respond about those actions and how we choose to move forward with them.
Something inside of this person is not balanced enough to be able to accept these signals and sort and file them and put them in a happy place.
I think that's a perfect word.
Stomping on a trigger somewhere.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's great when you're triggered. I mean, I always say celebrate the triggers, right? Because that's what our twins are meant to do, is help trigger us, push all our buttons so we know what still needs healing. That's part of the mirror that they hold up. It's like they go, okay, look, this is what still needs work. Not because they're trying to be mean or a jerk or hurt us. It's just they're simply helping us see what we can't always see in ourselves. So yeah, this is obviously a trigger for you. So instead of looking at it from your twin's point of view and going, well, it's all his fault and he's doing this, look at it as a gift and go, thank you for helping me see what still needs healing. And then look at that piece that's being triggered and really delve into it, much like we said in the last answer. Really take the time to go into that trigger and go, why is this triggering me? Why is this causing me to feel tired of our soul union, as the question was written? I liked how that was said. It's making me tired of our soul union. When you're in a balanced place, your soul union will never make you tired. It'll rejuvenate you. It'll give you life. It'll give you passion. It'll ignite more light in you. That's why we're called twin flames, right? That flame, the fire, it ignites. It kind of creates more life and warmth.
It's nice and warm on the back of my sweater. Oh, sorry. That's actually that flame back there that's nice and warm on the back of my sweater. But it's a similar feeling just on the inside.
Yes. When you're in balance with that flame. When you're not in balance, though, that's when the flame either is too hot and it burns you, or it's maybe not close enough and you don't feel enough warmth from it. So just to kind of reiterate, go back and figure out, why is that triggering you so much that you're wanting to like pull away from the connection? Because they even said, I'm thinking of breaking up this connection.
I'd like to talk about that because that's where my next focus was within the question. Thinking about breaking up this connection. When I think about breaking up connections, I think about cord cutting. And Angie and I have talked about this before. Twin flame cords really don't cut very well. They tend to cut more painfully than not.
I like the way you put that. They don't cut very well.
No, they don't. They tend to cut with jagged little edges.
Well, the truth is, you can't cut the cord with your twin flame because your twin flame is you. They're the same energy, and you can't cut your own energy.
Yes.
But
so
you can certainly try and get nowhere.
I would rather word it that as opposed to trying to cut a connection, that you take something nice and warm and fuzzy, like let's say a pillow image or a nice big blanket image,
or the house coat that you have buried so the dog doesn't lick your legs.
Yes, I got on shorts and the dog's been trying to lick my legs. It's been absolutely fun this past few minutes. So wrap that connection up in something really nice and warm and fuzzy, not enough to smother it, but enough to make it so cozy that it really is going to have to transmit really hard to get any signals out of it. Keep it warm and look after it. There might come a time in the future when it won't be so scratchy and harsh to you. Maybe after there's been a chance to grow to the point where you can handle that connection being there, not so covered up.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd rather nurture a connection to the point that it feels better than try to destroy it so that it isn't annoying.
Did you have any other comments on this one?
No.
I just wanted to comment about the part, just like a ghost who's writing a lot of messages about love and trust, but nothing is working. So again...
Maybe I do have more comments. Angie first.
Okay. I know I say this a lot, and I know, this is a common one in the twin flame community, but again, it's truth. Our twin is our mirror, right? So if we're feeling like they're a ghost to us, then are they not just mirroring that we're doing the same to ourselves? So in what way could you ask yourself, how am I being a ghost to myself? How am I ignoring myself? Or only giving myself things in one way but not the other way? Because it sounds like, if I'm understanding this question correctly, the person, your twin, is kind of communicating, like Rob said at the beginning, in 5D, but not really in 3D. So you're getting all this energy from them on one level, but not on the other level. So how are you doing that to yourself? How are you sort of giving yourself, like it was told to me in a previous relationship, it was like, come here, but go away, go away. Are you doing that with yourself? Might be worth looking at in a different perspective and go, how am I doing this?
Yes, I do have a little bit more to say.
Okay.
There's a lot of people out there who would love to have a ghost who was writing lots of messages about trust and love. Isn't that a nice message to be getting? Again, I think this situation needs a nice comfortable blanket, because you're getting messages of trust and love. A lot of people aren't getting messages anywhere near that nice from their connection with their twin. So, yeah. No, this one needs a comfy pillow.
You're so funny. Okay.
Next question?
Yep. We'll tuck that one in with a comfy pillow.
Could you both give your opinion on the third energy that is created when twins come together? Any advice on how I can incorporate this into my life? I have surrendered to the connection, and I am quite content if I don't come into union. My divine masculine is enmeshed in a 30-year marriage. I'd like to honor the connection, even if union is not an option. The third energy that is created when twins come together. I've really struggled with this. I actually read this question and I'm going, I saw this third energy word, so it kind of brought my attention in. And the third energy.
Here, come over here.
The third energy to me is.
You might as well say hi while you're distracting things again.
Yeah.
She's trying to lick Rob. She's trying to find a bare spot somewhere. Okay, I'm sorry.
There's a lot of expectation that when twins get together, that there's going to be almost like a complete entity of energy with them, almost like a third complete whole person. Some twins may feel that. Sometimes when twins get into connection, there's all sorts of new gifts and energies that come out just because their presence is together. I feel that my energy, my contribution to Angie and I's third energy is just more validated by us being together than when we were apart. It's I don't think that the energy really increased because we got together. It just became a little bit easier to use. Our TF moments started to click together more often, but it's not like they weren't there to begin with, just not as often. So I, I I'm on a blanket mode here. It's just like the difference between sitting beside a comfy blanket with your hand on it and just pulling it over you. It's the same blanket, it's still there, it's just closer. And that's how I felt our energy shift. It was just closer, not necessarily an explosion of new useful energy. How about you?
I was afraid you were going to ask that. I got nothing tonight on that one.
It's tough, sometimes tough when you run into a question. I often say, "Okay, Angie, this one's all yours," because I've got
well,
nothing.
usually sure, I could answer that no problem. I don't know. Tonight, I can't even think of the third energy to even. I'm just not really in a TFE place, and I just don't know why.
I think it's because a lot of our third energy started way back when we first met, and it's just been kind of there all along.
Well, not really, because there was many years where we were apart, and I didn't really feel any of that. I can't even define right now what the third energy is. Like, what? How would you define it? What would you like? Is it the magic? Is it that spark? Is
The
that what it
magic,
is?
the connection, the thing that brings along manifestations, maybe a little bit better.
I'm gonna wake up in the middle of the night with some brilliant answer, and it's gonna be too late.
Way too late. The energy that causes us when we pull cards to pull cards that are similar and relevant as opposed to being.
When I meditate and get told we need to play more, and then you pull the play card,
Yeah, I pull the play
5
card.
minutes later.
Right, that's the third energy
That's the
at
third
work.
energy.
That's the third energy at work. Some people may have better 5D connection.
The telepathy and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe our just defining it was helpful for some other people that didn't know, or maybe they're going to give me a bunch of answers, and I'm going to go, thank you.
What we're going to do is there's going to be a bunch of people out there that are going to come back with their definition of the third energy, and they're all going to be right. I think we had a very, very quick third energy when we started, and it's just been there all along. Sometimes close, sometimes distant.
Okay. So now the question is, how does this person embrace that and honor that connection, even if union is not an option at this point?
Got 10,000 words in my mind. I only got to put them in the right order.
Well, hey, I got none, so you can have them all. I think I left my twin flame energy on the cruise ship.
If we are in balance, there's that word again. Balance and grounding. That's my mantra. Going within, that's Angie's mantra.
That's mine.
If we are in balance with ourselves, that third energy is going to find a home to just exist on their own. How do you incorporate it? You incorporate it by being ready for it to begin with. And if you're not quite ready for it, if it's being jumpy and bouncy and not in a great place, I wouldn't want to call it a negative place, because this third energy, I've never felt it as a negative energy.
No.
So if there's just no place to put something positive where it can nestle in and be all homey, like that favorite blanket I can't get away from tonight, then I think it's just time to just be happy with the connection. Come to terms and be happy with your connection. and be less concerned about the missing of union. Accept that connection for what it is. Accept that energy for what it is. And let the thought of union stop getting in the way of it being thoroughly happy within you.
And I think like this person sounds like they're okay without union at this point.
Maybe they just have no other choice but to be okay with it because
like I'm quite content if we don't come into union, but they're wanting to just embrace the third energy. And my advice would be two things. One, play, because when we're in the energy of play, we're in that energy of love and union and vibrance and all of that, and also gratitude. Just an attitude of gratitude, I think, is very important.
That was good.
I can't take credit for that one.
It's out there?
It's out there in the world. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'd love to have come up with that all on my own.
That's okay. I can't take credit for blankets. They've been around a lot longer than I have either.
Oh boy. Apparently we either had too much of a holiday or not enough. I'm not sure.
If you're having trouble on incorporating the third energy into your life, the word that I'm focused on is contentment. Sometimes contentment is because something has gone full circle and you're happy with the answer. Other times, contentment comes from a lack of having any other choice. Something that is just not going to be any different than the way it is. So smile and just make the best of it. One's a forced contentment, and the other one is a lot more what I would call conclusive contentment, where you just can't make it any better. Therefore, it's got a happy spot and it lives there. I would say that if you're having troubles getting that third energy to live nicely within yourself, possibly it's because you've got no choice. It's not contentment. It's resignment. You're resigned to the way that it is, and you're happy with that resignation of ability to do anything else. But that still leaves a block in place. That's a big way of dancing around the word contentment or content.
That was good though. That was wise words.
If somebody's got any other ideas on third energy, let us know. I'd like to invite those comments.
Okay.
Next question?
Yep.
Oh, this one actually spills over to the other side of the page.
Yeah.
Okay, I better be ready for that. I've known my TF for 12 years. There was a brief time of togetherness in the beginning. I have had flashbacks of many lifetimes with him since meeting him. There isn't a day when I don't think of him or want to text him. However, I have decided not to put myself through this again and again. I don't think he knows what TFs are. I have never mentioned it to him. He is unhappily married, so I don't want to trigger any marriage issues. When I think about who he is and his beliefs and life choices, I often wonder if he is even a good match for me. But my heart and soul totally love him. Sometimes I don't even find him as handsome and attractive anymore. I'd like to have a partner and experience mutual love and adoration without the drama and the pain of separation. What is your advice?
You flip it over. I just read my notes before we started and I already forget what I said.
Somebody's looking to have mutual love and adoration, or how about admiration? I'll throw in that word too. And your little comment in the column, in the margin was?
I forget already. I'm just not really here tonight.
Have that relationship with yourself. This is really small printing with a pencil. Because like energy attracts like energy.
I'm much more wise in writing than I am in speaking.
A person of same vibration will be drawn to you.
I think it's very funny that you're reading my notes.
Well, I like her notes. I do. There's
I'm sorry. I'm really just not with it tonight.
and I just put both of my feet to sleep trying to hide them.
Okay, so
If
yes.
somebody fuzzy down there notices that both of my legs are stretched out, I'm in
You're
big
in
trouble.
I'm trying to distract her.
Okay. Flashbacks of many lifetimes with him. I like that. I think these flashbacks and noticing and being able to perceive other lives, previous lives with your twin, I really am starting to come to a conclusion that that's a very, very important stage to make it to in your connection. When you start to be able to recognize times outside of this lifetime when you've had that connection, that really validates how close the connection is at this time.
Mm.
That's really, really important. I love hearing
That's
about
neat
that.
insight.
Yes, there isn't a day when I don't think of him or want to text him. However, I've decided not to put myself through this again and again. Yeah, I can understand that. I don't think I don't think he knows what TFs are. Uh wow. I am also starting to think that that's pretty important. I think it's almost unfair that one side of a connection has a ton of information, and the other side of the connection, on a 3D level, doesn't understand why there seems to be a connection. For me, it was really helpful to learn about what twin flames were about. It really helped straighten out a bunch of stuff that was going on in my mind. But that might not be for everybody.
Well, and you didn't learn. You just knew.
I just all of a sudden knew.
It's not like you studied it like I did.
No.
I studied it for a year and a half intently.
And you told me that there was something about a twin flame, and I
told you the words.
And I started telling you what it was about.
Yeah.
I don't know where I got that information from.
Because you're claircognizant.
Bless you.
Thank you. We're still in holiday mode,
Yeah.
apparently. Oh, man.
He is unhappily married, so I don't want to trigger any marriage issues. I really have. I'm might step offside with my comments about this. There are a certain amount of twin flames that would wish that their other twin was in an unhappy relationship of some sort so that they would have a chance of maybe influencing their twin to change the relationship in favor of them. There's also another school of thought, and I don't want to use the word morals, but if somebody's in another marriage, there's another school of thought where it's just completely bad karma to do anything to try to pry yourself in between two other people who are attempting to be together. I think if you took the twin flame community, you'd probably find that there's somewhat close to an even split of people who would be horrified to do anything to even influence a relationship of any level of stability in either direction or another, versus people who would just be happy to have the opportunity to have their twin in an unhappy relationship and have a chance to get together with them. There's really there's that word again. There's a tough moral boundary in there.
Yes, that is a tough moral boundary.
That is. So, whichever side of the spectrum you're on that, I personally wouldn't judge. I don't.
Okay, so going back to the actual question, I'd like to have a partner and experience mutual love and adoration without the drama and pain of separation. Got it. What is your advice? So, first, Rob's already read my advice. I'm glad I write notes when I'm actually in an intuitive space, because I'm not right now, apparently. But to go back, when you're in separation, I know we don't like the separation, and that's why we're like, let's just find another relationship. But the twin flame separation happens for a reason. It can be, number one, so we can focus on ourselves. When we are pulled away from our twin, our divine counterpart, however you want to put it, it's often so that we will do the inner work, so that we will focus on ourselves. And, it's kind of like forcing us. But some people want another relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that, because sometimes having another relationship will help you do the work.
Having another relationship, at worst, will find triggers and bring them to the surface so that you know what you need to work on.
Yes.
If it's a great relationship, then you're fortunate. If it happens to be a not so great relationship, then you're going to be presented with lots of things to work on. If there's no relationship allowed whatsoever, I almost feel like people are denying themselves to learn something either way. So if someone's thinking about relationship outside of my twin flame relationship because I'm just tired of waiting for it, as an example, I would never say no. I would also, in a happy but cautionary way, say be prepared to learn stuff. Because a relationship with someone who is not your twin is almost always about the learning.
Yeah, because it's not just that our twins are our mirror. Everybody is our mirror. Everybody. And they're going to just reflect back to you what still needs to be faced within you. So if you're having drama with your twin, chances are you're going to have drama with someone else.
Okay, I was going to make that comment. I lose. I was second.
So it always goes back to relationship with self. Number one, the more you are healed, healed, whole, and balanced within, the more you're going to attract that in someone else, whether it's your twin or somebody else. But it always starts with the self, and like Rob read my little notes on the side of the page, like energy does attract like energy. So we are always attracted. We're always a magnet, and we're a magnet for whatever vibrational level we're at. If we're at a, maybe low vibration's not the right word, but if we're out of a specific vibration, we're going to attract things, people, everything, jobs, homes, everything at that level. The more we raise our vibration, the more we get into a more healed, balanced place, the more we're going to attract things in that same energy. So if you don't want a relationship with drama, heal the drama within you. Plain and simple. Your turn. You probably say it gentler than I do.
No, I'm actually going to leave that alone. I was just going to phrase it differently, but I don't think it would be more effective. Nicely done.
Okay.
Next question.
Sure. I think we answered all that one.
I think we touched it.
Okay.
Angie, before Rob contacted you, did you feel him in your whole body or just your head/mind? That's your question.
I know. I can't even ask for help, but I don't need it. It's okay. It was a lot of things actually. It wasn't just one, and it wasn't all three all the time. Sometimes it was very much in my heart that I felt him. Sometimes it was, I could hear him in my head. What was the other word they used? Head, mind,
Whole body.
Yeah, sometimes I could feel like he was giving me a hug, and my whole body would be like tingling, like I could just feel the energy of him, just totally encompassing all of me. I could feel him at night, like when I'd be asleep. You know how we often talk about astral travel. I could feel that, and I could feel like his hugs, his kisses. It was amazing. But there were times when it was, as I say, in my head, and it was just the telepathy, and I could like hear it. So it was kind of all over. There was no one thing. Did you experience any of that?
I was going to comment that if I ever felt anything in the body, it was so subtle that I don't really remember it as being significant. Uh, Not that I actually experienced receiving telepathy, but there was many times where you were just like the Glenn Campbell song, "Gentle on My Mind," and you just wouldn't go away. You were just in a little rocking chair back there, just
With a
rocking back
blanket?
and forth. I don't see a blanket this time. No blanket this time.
I had to add the blanket.
Yeah. So, no, not, I'm going to say not in the body, but gentle on my mind.
Okay, how are we for time?
Oh, we're doing okay.
Okay.
We're, I'm guessing about 40 minutes. I can't actually see the.
Yeah,
Oh, there it is.
Rob's magical with time.
No, no better either way. Time for new glasses. All right.
Okay.
Next question. Oh, it says Angie again.
I'm in the hot seat tonight.
What meditation do you utilize for your nightly wind down? Is it guided, music tones, self meditation to connect with a higher self, or twin flame based, as in clearing? Any information is helpful.
Okay. Before I answer this question, I want to just address something of what I just said, the hot seat. We totally forgot at the beginning of this video. We just like dove right in. We didn't even tell anybody about where we went or what we did for our holiday. So I'm going to talk just a little bit about Abraham Hicks because I know we did a live video on Facebook just Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday. This is now Tuesday night that we're doing this. But I know there's some of you that aren't on Facebook, and I have tried and I have not figured out how or if there's a way to get a live video off of Facebook and put it on YouTube. Help if you know. So anyway, for those of you that are not on Facebook or those of you that did not see that video, we did talk a little bit about connecting with Abraham Hicks. And why I'm bringing this up now is because I had said I was in the hot seat, and that's the term Abraham Hicks uses for people that go up in the chair.
Go up on the chair on stage in front of hundreds of people and ask a question.
Yes. So it just totally reminded me of that. And I'm like, while I'm here in this moment remembering this, to be very honest, I am not grounded, and I can't seem to ground myself. I need like a Banff trip or mountains or something because I'm still feeling like I'm spacey, like we're on the cruise ship. I'm like still got that weird. I haven't been able to ground myself, and usually that's not a problem. But I don't know. That's a whole nother story.
She needs a massage.
Okay, I just had one, but I'll take another one.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Back on topic.
Oh, back on topic.
So anyway, what was I going to say? Oh yes, Abraham Hicks. Awesome experience. We won't go into detail on that though because we've already done a video. For those of you that are not on Facebook though, if you know a way to get the video off of Facebook since it was a live one and put it on YouTube, I will gladly do that for you. Now, back to this question. Let's talk about meditation. So, I do not like guided meditations personally. That's just me. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them. You might work better that way. In fact, a lot of people work better that way to begin with because they have a hard time kind of quieting the mind, which is, very common when we're all starting meditation. Our minds are busy. We ask them to be active and thinking all day long, and then when we try to quiet them, they're like, I don't want to be quiet. I'm thinking about this and this and this. So guided meditations are nice for some people because it gives the mind something to focus on. Personally, though, I don't like them only because when I meditate, my soul gives me information. I get like stuff comes through. And so a guided meditation distracts that. And I don't get the stuff that my soul, my higher self is trying to give me gets like muddled with the guided stuff. And I'm then pulled in two different places. So it just doesn't work for me. So basically all I do, it's like really no rocket science at all. I sit, I have a specific space, a specific room that I meditate in, and I just sit there in the dark with my eyes closed and breathe.
With the dog?
With the dog, yes. My dog insists on meditations. It's quite funny. If we come home late one night because we've been out with friends or out for date night, whatever it is that we've been out for, the dog will be sitting at the opening of the door of the meditation room waiting for me. And I'm like, I don't want to meditate tonight. I just want to go to sleep. No. Can't, because then the dog won't leave us alone all night long. It's kind of funny.
Small dog trying to jump up onto the edge of a tall bed, and all you hear is this jump, thump, back down to the floor. Jump, thump, back down to the floor. It drives you nuts because she won't stop for minutes on end.
No.
Angie has to meditate with the dog so that both of them have meditated themselves into a sleeping mode.
Yes. So a dog is not required to meditate unless you're in my life.
The dog requires you to meditate the other way around.
Yes. But for your own purposes, the dog is not required. This is also not required, but this is one of the things I do. I have a rose quartz heart, of course. It's a heart. What other shape would it be? It's me. And it's pink, right? Oops. Leading out of the picture. And I Reiki myself. So I put, interestingly enough, this heart is sitting there. That's exactly
she's
what I
covered
do.
in hearts tonight.
So I just hold this here. And again, you don't have to do this. This is just what I do. There's like endless ways to meditate. Just find what works for you. But I just hold my rose quartz crystal here on my heart chakra. And then I Reiki myself as I'm meditating. And I just simply close my eyes and breathe. That's the main thing I do, is just focus on my breath. But I will also, I often clear my chakras I don't do it every night like I should, to be quite honest, because sometimes I just don't want to. It would be more beneficial if I did. But when I do, what I do is to clear my chakras is I just go through them one at a time, starting at the root, going all the way up to the crown. And I see them, because the chakras are like a spinning wheel. In fact, that's what chakra means in Sanskrit, is spinning wheel. So I see them spinning, and I can kind of sense when they're stuck. So I can sort of intuitively feel that they're not moving right. So I'll just get them spinning faster and faster, and then just let the energy clear out of them. And then I'll often see it like a clear, bright light shining through it, so that it's like just in the color that it is, just emanating that bright light through it. And that's when I know they're clear, is when I can see the light just totally shining. And then I'll just work up them one by one until they're all clear. Another thing I do often, again, I should be doing it every day. I used to do it every day, and I've kind of gotten lazy at it lately, but is grounding. And maybe that's why I'm not grounded. Maybe.
No comment.
Or maybe it's because I've been on a ship for a week.
Yeah, we're all out of our basic routines.
Yeah. Because I honestly, I will be totally honest, I didn't meditate once while we were on holidays. I was too busy buzzing around.
Oh, we were all over the place.
We are not relaxation holiday people. We are go, do everything.
I almost needed a vacation to recover from my vacation.
We do. Yeah.
We turn up a whole lot of different energies. And okay, we're on this giant cruise ship for 6 days. And not once did we take an elevator. We used the stairs the whole time, whether we were going from deck 2 up to deck 14 or whatever, it didn't matter. Use the stairs.
Yes.
I guess it's our fault if we don't relax on holidays, isn't it now?
Well, and on a cruise, there's like endless things to do. Sometimes there's like 3 things going on at once. And you're like, okay, I'm going to run from there, and then I'm going to go watch that, and I'm going to... It's just our personalities.
Yeah.
We're not sit-still people. Unless I'm meditating.
And speaking of which, meditating, I don't meditate as per se, but I like to have some routines that I can trust. And one of my routines, I don't know why I'm mentioning this, while Angie's meditating, often, not all the time, but often, I'm lying on her side of the bed, warming it up for her. And then when she jumps into a nice warm bed and she's all purring and happy, then I'm feeling happy and I take that happy little bit and I'm able to drift off to sleep.
I'm very spoiled.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
So,
So back to meditating.
you can keep on commenting. I'm not the strong meditator.
No, you meditate while you're climbing a mountain.
I meditate while I'm running or climbing a mountain or riding my bike.
Yeah.
Uh,
The only other thing I wanted to say before we end this, because we're getting a little long, is grounding. Because I know now that I've mentioned it, some people are probably going to ask, well, how do you ground? If you've shared how you clear your chakras, how do you ground? Again, there are many, many different ways to ground. One of the most effective ways for me is nature. But of course, when I'm meditating, what I do is first I clear all my chakras so they're nice and clean. And then I not only imagine my root chakra going into the ground, I imagine all of my chakras. So I kind of see it like my chakras were all like beaming out, right? So this one, this one, this one, they're all like shining out. So I see them like the rainbow that they are. And then I see them kind of like converging all. I'm never going to get this good with this whole backwards thing. So I see them all coming together as one, and then I see like that cord going into the earth. And right out my meditation room window is our backyard, and that's where I always picture all that energy going, and I picture it going like right to the very, very core of the earth. And I see it like roots from a tree, just like going deep, deep, deep into the earth. And then what I do is I send my love and my healing to the earth. And then I ask the earth to share its love and healing. And then I see all of that coming back up through all of my chakras, back up all of those roots and all of my chakras, and then going back all the way through me. Sometimes I just do it very quickly. Sometimes I will do it very detailed and like just see so much energy. It just depends how much time I have, how much energy I have, how tired I am. But that's one of the ways that I do grounding. So that's pretty much what I do for meditating. I just sit quietly, breathe. If I have a question, I will ask like my higher self, spirit, angels, guides, whoever. I will ask for guidance, but oftentimes I just sit quietly and just breathe and let myself go into that 0 point energy. That just kind of where you're in just pure love. It's beautiful.
Similar to what Angie said, it's different but similar. When I'm doing grounding, oftentimes it's not something that I do intentionally. As we mentioned before, when I'm hiking or bike riding or running, I'll feel like I'm starting to spread out, like my physical self or energetic self or a combination of the two is spreading out around me, becoming bigger and bigger, much like a puddle. I feel like I'm running in a puddle of myself, and sometimes that puddle of myself can be as big as the mountain that I'm standing on top of, where it just is very, very thin but draped over the entire mountain, or it's along the edges of a valley that I'm in. And that that whole area of myself that is covering the ground is like a big antenna. I can feel the soul of the valley or the soul of the mountain
Wow.
or the soul of the forest. I feel a lot more connected with that. And for example, if I'm really feeling trees, I feel their roots, not necessarily my roots, but I feel their roots. So I connect with them, and I use their connection with the earth to feel connected with the earth without actually letting go completely of myself. So yeah, I turn into a big puddle. And Angie develops roots.
That's funny.
We're both fire signs. I don't know why I feel so connected to water, but I've always been fascinated with water. Maybe I'm just happy with my alter ego. Okay.
Water and fire. There you go.
All right.
I think we'll wrap it up there.
I think so.
Okay.
I think we've done really well considering we started out with struggles.
We're spacey and not twin flamey and not grounded.
Maybe I was a little more tonight. You came around. Nice job.
I did.
Nice job.
Now I got to go meditate and ground.
Yeah.
Now that I've described it, I better go do it.
And probably review how we actually did.
Okay.
I think we did well. It was a good question and answer video from my point of view. I enjoyed that.
Well, we're happy to be back. Maybe we still wish we were on a cruise, but we're very happy to be back connected with you guys. I have to say, I totally missed you guys while we were gone. It just felt weird not to do a video, and it felt weird not to be connected.
It felt disconnected.
Facebook, yeah.
I felt a little bit alone.
Yeah. So it's nice to be back connecting with you all. So on that note, we're going to disconnect though because we're making this very long.
Yep.
But we love you as always,
Yes.
and we will be back with more videos in not too long.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.